I said this is one of her favorite areas. John, sorry about that. John was wondering when was Karula last seen? On the 17th of last month, John, so it is a little bit troublesome. And it looks like Xongile is back to hunting terrapins again. She has been quite hungry. I think she's been surviving mostly off terrapins and insects. Or could she be after the baby ducks again? Off she goes. Off she goes. What has she spotted? There she comes right up to us. What have you spotted, girl? Oh, shame. It was a terrapin on the log and it plopped into the water. I heard it go boom as soon as she got a bit close. Oh, hello, my darling. Oh, shame. Well, she's looking a bit better than I last saw her. She's definitely eating stuff. As I said, leopards are incredibly adaptable. She'll survive on grasshoppers and insects and all sorts, including terrapins. Now, my advice, little Xongile, would be to find a smaller pan, like the one next door down there. Better chance of catching terrapins there. Sorry, John, I thought you said when was Karula last seen, but apparently where was Karula last seen? She was seen by an elephant plains guide to the south of us somewhere. I'm not sure of the exact position. Herbie said the last tracks he had were on the 18th on Shabam Road, and we haven't had any sign of her since then. Hi Shirley, who's in Canada, and Shirley's wondering, will the cubs survive if Karula doesn't come back? And there's a strong possibility. So once they reach over a year old, that mortality rate drops to about 15% from about 70%, and there's a very good chance that they will survive. And if Xongile does survive, which I'm quite confident she will have definitely mastered the art of hunting after being left alone at this age. Now it seems like Hassan is having a bit of an easier time of it, and that's probably purely due to his size. He is able to take down bigger prey like impala and warthog and things like that, where Xongile is still a little bit small. And I'd say, oh, there, Xongile, behind you, terrapins in the small pan. Oh, hopefully she will. Oh, she spotted some movement again. You might have to learn to go swimming like your brother. This is one of the really amazing things, is we spend so much time with these leopards that we know their habits. We know where to predict where they're going to go from where her tracks went. As we drove up here, I said, this is a good spot. We might find her around here, and there she was. So Luna is wondering, how hot is it, and what do leopards do if they overheat? Well, it's not that hot today. It's 29 degrees Celsius, about 82 Fahrenheit. So a mild day by our low fault standards. And if leopards overheat, they'll need to sit in the shade and pant to cool down. So bring that warm air over the blood vessels in their mouth and cool the blood down. Now, of course, it is very dangerous for any of the big cats to overheat. If their core body temperature rises by just a degree, it can mean death for them. Oh, here she comes. So there was a terrapin sitting on that log just in front of her that plopped down before she popped down. There she comes. Hello, my beautiful girl. Oh, she is gorgeous. Hello, girlie. So so skinny. Oh, look, she spotted something again. I'm trying to see if I can spot something. Oh, hello, my girl. Oh, she's hungry, but she's by no means starving. So as I say, she is surviving on small things. She's going to go right past us. I'm going to have to drive forward and turn around. Okay, let's turn around. Now, isn't this wonderful? What a lovely start to the Sunday afternoon sunset safari. So from Xongile, let's go see her potential dad with James. Xongile has given up her terrapin hunts, and she's now decided to lie right next to us, just a few feet away. Hey, little girl. So we've been just waiting and watching, and she's gone through the thickets just to the west of us, and unfortunately she hasn't had any luck. So she's come to lie down in the shade. I'm just going to move back a little bit. It is a patience game for her at the moment. Hello, pretty. How's that, Craig? There. So there she is. Very elegantly lying on the edge of the pan. You see her ears are still very focused. She'll be listening for any little movement in the water, particularly around the edges, be watching for ripples, so she can try and get herself a terrapin snack. Because unfortunately that's all it is, but every little snack helps. Now, it'll be interesting to see if an impala or something came close enough with ever she would try. And I think desperation might lead her to trying, and it's the best way to learn. Now, Catherine says Xongile seems so comfortable with the vehicles. Well, she is very, very comfortable with the vehicles, Catherine. And you must realize we've been following her since she was 8 hours old. It was the first time I found her. And we've been very lucky to watch these cubs grow on. And we've spent so many hours with them that they completely ignore the vehicles now. Hey, girl. She's not even looking at us. She's far more focused on what's happening in the pan. She's just surveying, looking for any sign of a potential meal. Now, it looks like the white-faced duck family took the opportunity to move the babies probably into Twin Dams itself to avoid her attentions. And she spent a whole 3 or 4 hours trying to catch some of those baby ducks 2 days ago. Michael Evans is wondering, are the terrapins serrated hinged? The majority of them are, and that is correct, Michael. The majority of them will be serrated hinged terrapins. We probably don't get the bigger species of terrapins up here in the north. Those generally need sort of more permanent bits of water, like the Sand River or the Sabi River, and you'll get a few more species. I'd probably say, at a guess, 99% of all the terrapin species we get up here are serrated hinged. Hold in front of you, Xongile. I can see ripples. Probably a bit too deep. But of course, patience pays, and she's definitely noticed some of the ripples in front of her. What she wants is a terrapin to lumber towards the side, and she can leap on him, or her. Looks like she's going to might have a little nap, a little break. She's probably been hunting throughout the day. I mean, she's moved probably about 1.5 kilometers, 2 kilometers from where she was left on the sunrise safari. So she has moved a fair distance, and it's been a warm day. Probably deserves a little rest. But you must remember, these cats are complete opportunists. So if something had to pop up right next to her, she would definitely leap upon it. It almost looks like she's willing a terrapin to come down to the side. Hey, little madam. Because everyone's allowed a lazy Sunday afternoon, even little Xongile. Sorry, I'm just going to put my head in the way. I've spotted a bird. I just want to make sure what it is. Oh, it's not as exciting as I thought it is. It's a female village weaver in that tree at the back there. There's a couple of them. I just wanted to see. There, that one there. Just wanted to see what they were. Oh, off they go. Oh, but not too an exciting bird species. Oh, come on, Xongile. Sorry, someone's calling me on the radio. Standing by. Make your way, I'm the only station here. Sorry about that. Oh, now it seems to be a spotted day, or a leopard day. I wonder what type of leopard Ali's found. Quick. Did she get it? She got it! She got something. There we go, she caught one of the baby whistling ducks. She's been trying for days. Isn't that exciting? Well done, little Xongile. Well done. So happy. Yay. Well done, little Xongile. So the whistling ducks, we didn't even see them. Craig actually just spotted them, and then she just took off. I mean, isn't this exciting? She's caught, it looks like a baby whistling duck. A white-faced whistling duck. Mom's sitting in the middle there. Let's just go have a quick look where she is. Well done, Xongile. That's a nice little meal for you. Well, Mike from Cheetah Plains arrived at exactly the right time as she leapt. See where she is now. I'm sure she's very chuffed with herself at the moment. I can't see her just yet. She's in. Oh, there she is. I just spotted her in the grass. Well spotted, Craig. So not the best view of her eating, but there she goes. She's got it in her mouth. Now, she'll probably be quite protective of this carcass. Take it right into a thicket. Isn't that exciting? Well done, Xongile. So we were just talking about how adaptable leopards are. I just want to make sure we don't give her a fright. Can you see her yet, Craig? There she is. Okay, we got her there. We can see her eating now. No, it's not a little duck. It's another terrapin. Oh dear. I can smell it as well. I'm just worried the thorns hit me. Can you get it, Craig? Here we go. Whoops. So it's another terrapin. It's not in fact a duck, but the ducks were right there. Shame. That's not as good a meal, but it is still a meal. And I can actually smell the terrapin. One of its defense mechanisms is to evacuate its bowels, and it is incredibly smelly. So she's just waiting to try to get a grip on some of the meat. So her jaws, there you can hear she's got the little hinge. It seems like she's got the hinge open. Oh, the terrapin's trying to bite her. Look at that. That terrapin's biting her. She's trying to open up. I mean, the fact that she's trying to open up that carapace means she is really hungry. And as I say, I think she's been surviving off these terrapins for quite some time. And there's the leg. Sorry, I thought she was trying to bite her, but it's actually the leg. So she's trying to get in through the back. Yeah, looks like she's going to go for one of the legs now. Now, guys, sorry, this is, for sensitive viewers, please understand that this is nature and it is wild. We can't predict, we can't script. So we do know that terrapin's still alive. If you are a little bit sensitive, it is probably going to take her quite some time before she actually kills this little terrapin. So if you are sensitive, maybe go get a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and just stay away for a little bit. She saw that from all the way at the other side of the pan. Can you hear the crunching of the carapace? Looks like she has managed to get some meat, but she's going to have to do a bit more crunching. See how she's using her molars and premolars? To break the edges where it's probably the weakest. There we go, she's got some meat there. That looks a bit better. And as you can see, the terrapin is still alive, still moving. The fact that its movements are getting slower would mean it's probably not too long off being dead now. But well done, Xongile. She has to eat to survive, and every little bit counts. Remember, if you have any questions, hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. Wow, isn't this exciting? Let me know how seeing Xongile get a meal, even a small one, makes you feel. So let me know. I would love to hear. Hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. How does Xongile getting a meal make you feel? Makes me feel very happy, very relieved. Now, as I said, it does look like she's eaten since the last time I had a good look at her. She's by no means full. As I say, she's probably had multiple small meals like this, terrapins, maybe the odd little tortoise as well. Michael Evans, who asked by the serrated hinged terrapin and wants to know, is that one of them? Indeed it is. I'm just going to try move a little bit so we can get a slightly better view. And try avoid getting whacked by the knob thorns. Oh dear, I think I'm going to come around from the other side. I don't think I'm going to be able to negotiate past those thorns. And they're still getting caught in the car. Let go, Knobthorn, thank you. No, let's try and negotiate through somewhere else. Steph is wondering, could she possibly break her teeth on those, on the carapace of the terrapin? It is possible, but unlikely. She's more than likely to blunten her teeth more than anything else. But those teeth are incredibly strong. Okay, let's get out of there. So the whistling ducks are still here. And while we try to get into a better spot to see Xongile munching away on that hinged terrapin, let's go to James, who's with another spotted creature. Okay, we managed to get into a better position with Xongile. Still not the greatest, but we can see her feeding on what's left of that terrapin now. She's cracked open quite a bit of the carapace. Doesn't look like the most pleasant meal in the world, but it'll definitely be a meal that'll help her survive. There we go, you can hear that crunching. So ideally she doesn't want to catch too big a terrapin because then she's not going to be able to open it up. So small to medium are the size she wants to go for. Marilyn's wondering when a leopard is hungry, or Xongile is hungry, do her skills sharpen or weaken? Well, I think it depends on how long she goes hungry for. At the moment, I think her skills are pretty sharp because she's eating enough to survive. She's not full by any means. But if she got to a point, of course, there's always a point where she'll be too weak to hunt. Fortunately, she hasn't at once looked like that since I've seen her, since I've been back. I mean, she's been hungry, but she hasn't been starving. So there's a point where starvation and desperation and starvation. Well, at the end of desperation, starvation takes over. Sorry, that took me a while to get out. And at that point, obviously, the animal will be too weak to hunt or to successfully hunt. But they can still come back from those very weak places by eating grasshoppers, termites, lizards, small rodents, preferably things that don't run away too much. Here we go, she's munching away. Oh, Blaine in Jacksonville is wondering if she's going to eat the shell. Probably not. She's going to break off the shell. She might inadvertently swallow some pieces of the shell. And remember that the outer layer of the shell is keratin, which is hair, matted hair, like our fingernails. And the inner layer is bone, and with very little nutrients in it for her. So she's going to try to eat as little of the shell as possible, but inadvertently she will eat pieces of the shell while she's feeding. You can hear her cracking that shell open at the moment. Now, of course, this is definitely not first choice on her dinner list, but it will definitely aid her. Here you can see how she's opened up. She's got into the meat now. So that last big crack obviously got through the shell. If you keep coming, there's that small pan around the western bank. She's just caught a terrapin. So there you go. She didn't get much meat out of there, so she's going to have to crack that shell again. You can see how she's working the weaker areas of that shell on the edge to open it up. Now, we've seen Hasana, Xongile, and Vutomi all feeding off terrapins when they've been left by their moms for extended periods. So it's obviously not that uncommon for these youngsters to use terrapins as a survival tool. Now, we're going to stay right here with Xongile as she continues to try and munch through this little terrapin. But let's go back to Tingana, who's got a much more pleasant and less smelly meal. Well, she's munching through this terrapin very quickly. And if you zoom in there, you can see she's actually got a lot of it open now. So she's eaten a lot of the innards. And so there's not much meat inside a terrapin, but she is making the most of every morsel. Now, leopards are so incredibly adaptable, and they've been recorded in downtown Johannesburg eating rats and tipping over rubbish bins and basically raiding the trash. And they lived in a sewer system, but that was the last time they were seen there was in the early 90s. But in and around most urban areas in certain parts of South Africa, in parts of Durban, an area called Kloof, where there's a lot of ravines, and there have been leopards there, and the leopards in those areas seem to make do by eating mostly domestic dogs and cats, and I'm sure rats as well, but mostly dogs and cats. And all just outside Johannesburg, in the Magaliesberg and the Cradle of Humankind, leopards are recorded there. In KwaZulu-Natal, on the outskirts of Maritzburg, where Senzo and I were born, and there's plenty of leopards in and around those areas. First leopard I ever walked on foot was just outside on our family farm. It was a female and 2 cubs, which I stumbled on accidentally. Wow. And we can hear an Egyptian goose back towards Twin Dams itself. As I say, there's very, very little of this terrapin left. Oh, it looks like what body part that looked like? Probably the stomach. I just saw what looked to be the majority of the stomach that was just swallowed. There we go, you can see some of the intestines there. She hasn't got quite through to the heart and lungs yet, but I'm pretty sure she will get there. Yum, 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 terrapin. Oh, actually not so yum, yum, but meat is meat and a leopard must eat. Very peaceful here. Now there's a very strong possibility that as soon as she's finished munching this terrapin, she might go try catch another one, or even still try catch one of those baby white-faced whistling ducks that are in this pan. Oh, she's heard something. What have you heard, madam? Can you see anything, Craig? Oh, no, she's gone back to eating. Now where she's lying at the moment, there's a strong possibility Impala might come up, and Nyala, waterbuck, elephants. So even though I think an elephant's a bit out of her range. If a male impala is a bit too big for her, and she's existing off terrapins. But you never know that, as I said, that when animals are hungry, they can do quite strange things. So she might be willing to attempt to hunt an adult impala just because she is so hungry. And I'm pretty sure she's tired of terrapin, grasshopper, and lizard. Hi, Richard, who's in New York. Richard would like to know, would she prey on snakes, and how would she know which are venomous and which are not? Oh, it's a difficult one. I think she would if she was hungry enough, but she would probably try to avoid it. Leopards do like pythons, so I've seen them eat pythons. I've seen them eat massive pythons, up to sort of 4 meters. I've seen them eat puff adders. I have seen them eat venomous snakes, but even when they are killing those venomous snakes, they are very careful while they go about that business. But if they're not too hungry, they'll completely ignore the snake unless it's something like a python, which represents a really big and a relatively easy meal for an apex predator like a leopard. Now there's further south in the Sabi Sands where I used to work, there's a place called Python Rock, and there's a female leopard who lost 3 cubs to pythons in that to a single python in that den site. And strangely enough, I think it was the 4th or 5th litter after that, one of the young male cubs she had caught that very big python. It was just under 4 meters, and he hung it in the tambuti tree above the rock. Now, for some reason, rotting snake smells worse than any other rotting meat, and he didn't finish that python. That was a very big python, but you could smell the stench of that rotting python from about 800 meters away for about a month and a half afterwards. Oh, I think she's turned around to the head now. Mr. Zoom in there for me, Craig. Oh, I think it's just behind that WildEarthTV flower. Oh, I think that the head has just been swallowed. Is it the head there? Or is it just another leg? I think that's the head. Bye-bye, head. That was the head of the terrapin. She's just engulfed. So she's really made really good work of this. She's broken up the whole carapace. She's eaten almost every iota of meat that, well, the minuscule amount of meat a terrapin offers. But, well, we're going to sit here, see if once she's finished snacking on the reptile, she might go try catch another one. While we do that, let's go see how Ali's wandering about on Bang. Well, she is literally trying to get every iota of this terrapin down her gullet. So she has managed, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 bites left, and we're going to hang around, see if she tries to catch another one, or if she starts to move. Now, I have been keeping an ear out on the Eastern Channel to see if her brother has made an appearance yet, and I haven't heard anything, so I'm just going to ask for an update now quickly. Shanae, has there been any update on Hosanna this afternoon? Confirm Hosanna or Tamba? Copy. You chased warthogs at just to the east of the little Gari sign this morning. Okay, so no sign of Hosanna. Tamba has been found on Chitwa, but it sounds like he's right in the Mulwanini River, where unfortunately we don't have any signal. Shongololo, there's not much left, my darling. So if some of you have just stumbled upon us and wondering what on earth is going on, well, what on earth is going on is that you're on a live African safari. My name is Brent April. That's Xongile the leopard. Batman's the cameraman. And if you want to ask me questions about what's happening here in the African bush, you are able to do so by using the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. I would love to hear from you, and let us know if you're a new viewer as well. It would be great to see where you are in the world. So let us know if you're a new viewer, where you're watching, and where you're from. Okay, it seems like we're gonna sit right here. I think she might try hunt terrapins again just now. So while we wait for her to finish off the last of this terrapin, it seems like James has left Tingana and found something a great deal bigger and a great deal more grey. She's on the move again in search of another terrapin, or if preferably a baby duckling. Well, that's terrible English again. A baby duckling, a duckling, or a baby duck. It can't be a baby duckling. Talking nonsense I am, but we can just see them there, and they're managing to keep far away from a little Xongile. There we go. They're the baby white-faced whistling ducks. She's just moved behind this little patch, and look at that, you can see the white from behind her ears sticking through quite clearly. She's looking alert again. Maybe she's about to leap on another terrapin. We don't want to move now. We don't want to disturb at all. No, it looks like she's lost interest in whatever she was incredibly focused on. What are you doing, little one? Oh, she's just slowly smelling, and she's just going very, very slowly and carefully around the edge of the pan. It looks like she's about to start moving again. She's definitely still hungry. And so I'm just there we go, she's on the move again. So that's what we've been waiting for. She's just moving slowly around the edge, keeping a lookout for any potential prey. You can see how well that camouflage works. She just melts into the grass. And see how she approaches so carefully to the little spots where she's got a chance of catching a terrapin unawares. Now she'll sit and watch. Just looking for any sign of movement on the edge of the water. Anything within her grasp. Oh, biting flies. So that late rain has been quite a saviour for her, filling up all the pans with terrapins. Otherwise she'd probably find it a lot more difficult to find a meal. Hi Michelle in Canada. Michelle is wondering, do leopards like water? They don't, Michelle. If they can avoid getting wet, they will. Now, it is very area specific rather than species specific. Oh, sorry, area specific rather than leopard individual specific. And areas like the Okavango Delta and the Congo Basin rainforests and other parts of Africa, Basanga Plains, the leopards will actually swim regularly. They have to cross water to get to food. In an area like this, if they can avoid crossing or swimming in water, they will. Of course, like most animals out here, they can swim. They just don't like it very much. And of course, there's always the risk of crocodiles in any little patch of water in the wilder parts of Africa. Look at that focus. Occasional leg shake. Oh, it looked like she was about to jump. And I think she's seen something. She just moved. And she's locked on to something on the edge. Let's give her a few more seconds. Nope, doesn't look like anything's going to happen. So we're going to stick with her, but it is getting to that time of the day when bushwalk needs to start getting home. So let's go say goodbye to Ali. Checking every little spot for a possible terrapin. There's a little sort of undercut in the bank there, right next to us over there. And she's just making sure that there's no terrapin hiding in it. Unfortunately, it looks like there isn't one, but she's just going so carefully. Oh, she'd be, if she has 4 to 5 terrapins a day, that'd be a reasonably good meal. A lot of work to get to the meat, but it would definitely keep her going. Now, you can see how relaxed she is with us. I mean, she's right next to the vehicle. She's not showing any sign of being worried about our presence. Jimmy would like to know, do I think Xongile associates the vehicles with Karula? No, I don't. Not at all. I mean, the amount of time she spent with Karula without vehicles around far exceeds the amount of time she did with. So I don't think she at all associates the vehicles with her mom. There we go. What have you heard? She's heard something. I heard a splash as well. And off she goes. Where are you going, little madam? Don't go south. Stay with us in the north, please. Yes. So she's right there. But she's stopped and she's heading towards the south. That's not good news for us. So I'm pretty sure she's probably going to cross out of our traverse area, but we'll stay with her as long as we can. I'm just going to let the guys in the east know quickly. Any stations in the east copy? She's still on our side, yay! There's another little pan, a much smaller one, which I earlier said she should probably focus on, because I did see some terrapin movement in it, and it's shallower and smaller, so she might have a better chance. But she doesn't look like she's listening to me. It looks like she's going to head across. Let me just get ahead of her quickly. So she's moving between the different pan systems looking for terrapins. So there's another 2 pans, and then below here I know there's another set of big pans, and I think she's just moving between all these pans hunting terrapins. Hello, little Xongile. Are you going visiting the south now? Any station in the east copy? I think everyone's having their drink stops. Well, hopefully she might just walk down the road. Xongile, Karula's Mompimpanwansati is crossing at Baboon Pan to the south. Okay. Let's see if we can get one last view of her before she disappears into the longer grass. So there she goes, heading down toward the next set of pans. We wish her good luck in her terrapin hunting. And oh, wait, no, there she goes. I was hoping she might have just changed her mind at the last second, turn around. Alas, not to be. So let's go back to the highly entertaining James Henry and the big dominant male leopard of Djuma, Tingana.